And here's where the fun begins. With everyone getting back on defense, Garland then tells Nance the reason is Garland wants the ball to keep rolling as a stall tactic. Knows how the game clock continues to move, but the shot clock is still at 24 seconds. Now, Chris Paul noticed that, and you can hear him say,
0389.
But Kawhi Leonard just lets Garland roll it all the way up to the front court.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So, I wanted to, it's probably going to be the last I talk about the whole Chris Paul situation, but I watched this video last night, so it's not going to be a direct react, but I wanted to show you guys what I saw here. This will kind of explain my stance on the whole thing, which you guys probably know at this point was we got a losing franchise and a franchise that is trying to lose. That's what I truly believe. I believe the franchise is trying to lose at this point, the Clippers. And then you got a guy like Chris Paul who's calling out all the BS and is actually trying to lead the team properly and trying to get some wins. And you see what happens to him. So this video is titled Kawhi Leonard's Lazy Defense Drives Chris Paul Crazy. And it's going to blow your mind. So don't click off. Watch this stuff, because if you start putting it together, these are the things that are going to piss off Ty Lue and lead to Ty Lue like not even like showing up for a meeting with him, like a sit down meeting with Chris Paul. It's pretty disgusting. And then finally, to know now that Coach Lue was also at those poker tables with Chauncey Billups, like quite often. A lot of people who have come out and talked about it said, yep, he was there almost every single time. And those are the rigging poker games. So you got to, it's crazy. I used to like Ty Lue, but now I have to put everything into question. But here, let's watch this video. Guys, it's from a channel called Daniel Lee. It's going to be a short one. Please pay attention. This is ridiculous. All right, I'm linking the original video down below in the description. You'll also see a list of channel members. Shout out to channel members. This one's 100% gonna get copyright claimed because it's all in-game footage. But I appreciate you guys. Like the vid if you want to get the message out. Hit that hype button if you want to get the message out. I'd appreciate it. And without further ado, everything I said in the intro, just keep that in mind as you watch this footage.
Just about 2 weeks ago against the Cavaliers, Chris Paul was not happy with Kawhi's lack of urgency on defense. As reported by Shams on Wednesday, Paul was sent home by the Clippers because his leadership style clashed with the team. He had been vocal in holding management, coaches, and players accountable, which the team felt became disruptive. And this game might show...
Hold on. Specifically, Ty Lue was not on speaking terms with Paul for several weeks, okay?
Coaches and players accountable, which the team felt became disruptive. And this game might show what the fuss is all about. In the fourth quarter, the Clippers were down 13 and needed a spark. But with rookie Kobe...
Okay, so very important, though, because if you guys know basketball, so they're down by 13, right? They need to catch up. Time is their enemy at this point when you're coming from behind. So just watch. This is incredible. All right? So time is their enemy. They need to conserve time. Watch what happens.
Sanders matched up on Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell runs a pick and roll with Mobley, and he's able to throw it up to him. Then
Nice
after
play.
a miss, Mitchell has Sanders on him again, and is easily able to step into the step back three to push the lead up to 18, leading to a Clippers timeout. Right out of the timeout, Paul decided to take the challenge of guarding Mitchell. Now this of course is weird, considering that Paul is too slow, especially when you have better defenders like Kawhi Leonard or Nicholas Batum on the floor. But it was a chance to try and take things into his own hands.
Yeah, and to be fair, yeah, that's what a leader does. He was like, all right, you can't get it done, I'll get it done for you. But this isn't even what I want to focus on. It's coming in a little bit.
And he does a good job fighting over this ball screen, which forces someone else to then try and make a play. Next possession, he does a good job holding his ground initially, but Paul tries to swipe at Mobley, and he's too slow to recover to Mitchell, who drives and throws it up to Mobley again. Now, despite that defensive mishap, Paul had been a spark on the offensive end, and this one's a classic, faking the dribble.
Yeah, by the way, they're catching up here. They're catching up. 8 minutes left. They're within range.
Paul had been a spark on the offensive end, and this one's a classic, faking the dribble handoff to Kawhi, and then driving to the rim to cut the lead to 14.
Classic CP3.
And here's where the fun
begins. Yeah. Now, this is the meat and potatoes, you guys. So at this point, this is less than, hold on. So they are now only down by 10. Like, this is anyone's game, okay? Now, this is a smart strategy what the Cavs are going to do, but watch how this plays out.
Begins. With everyone getting back on defense, Garland then tells Nance,
drop it.
The reason is, Garland wants to...
All right, pay attention. Pay attention now. The shot clock doesn't start until he touches the ball. Look at the game clock. It burns, okay? Chris Paul is smart. Chris Paul knows this. He's the leader on the floor. So just all that context, let's move forward.
Ball to keep rolling as a stall tactic.
See?
Notice how the game clock continues to move, but the shot clock is still at 24 seconds. Now, Chris Paul noticed...
Okay, wait. I want to look at this again and look at the coaching staff. What are they doing on the sidelines?
Continues to move, but the shot clock is
no one's saying anything.
Still at 24.
No one's yelling at the team to hustle down and you know, all you have to do is run down the court and put a little pressure on them, and it's over. They have to pick up the ball and start. No one is doing it. Not James Harden, not Ty Lue, obviously not Kawhi, you'll see in a second, and not Van Gundy.
Seconds. Now, Chris Paul noticed that, and you can hear him say,
389.
But Kawhi Leonard just...
So everybody seems content with losing right now, except for Chris Paul. There's Kawhi Leonard, by the way.
Let Garland roll it all the way up to the front court, and by the time he picks it up, the Cavs were able to trim down...
Look at the clock. Look at the clock burning.
16 seconds of game time. It also doesn't help that as Garland drives into the paint, he's able to kick it out to Jalen Tyson for 3 to make it a 17-point game. So from start to finish, the Cavs were able to waste over 30 seconds of game clock and also get a bucket to extend that lead. On the next possession, after Zoo makes the free throw, Kawhi...
Okay, now you guys would think, right? The coaching staff, the leadership, you know, they would have corrected this so it doesn't happen again, right?
Starts trotting back again until someone tells him to get up. Now, the only reason he's lucky here is that after a dead ball like a free throw, the clock doesn't start until Garland actually touches it. So even though there's still a decent amount of space to let it roll, he just picks it up when he realizes the clock won't move. But then just 30 seconds later, after Kawhi knocks down the 3, every Clipper runs back again, so Garland just lets the ball roll again.
You can't make this stuff up. And again, where's the coaching staff? Why does Chris Paul have to step in and do this? And then why is he punished for doing this?
Kawhi is slow to get up again, and as the camera pans back to the game view, Chris Paul ran all the way to the backcourt to make sure Garland picked it up, and Kawhi's not even in this shot.
Yeah, so it's not even his assignment, yet he's doing it anyways. And what's going on here?
And you'll see that he was eventually way behind the...
Hold on. John Manpen, don't fail me. There we go. Yeah, what's Coach doing here? Nothing, just chilling.
Play. So once it got to a dead ball, Chris Paul finally goes up to Kawhi and is like, "Hey man, you got to get up, dude. The Cavs are wasting way too much time." And on the next possession, after Suhpac makes his free throw to push it down to 11, Kawhi finally gets up to Garland so that they can't waste any clock.
There it is. How hard was that?
Just yesterday, Chris Haynes reported that Chris Paul had made a suggestion about switching Kawhi off of Klay Thompson in a game against the Mavericks. On this one, Klay comes off the screen, and Kawhi...
Oh, cool. I didn't see this part.
...had a lot of trouble navigating that screen. So Paul asked Kawhi in the huddle if he preferred to switch off of him. And apparently, Jeff Van Gundy did not like that Paul had even made that suggestion. This is a microcosm of what's been going on in LA. The Clippers, despite being a veteran group, have been lacking energy and effort. Kawhi Leonard has not been the most engaged with the simple things, but it's not just him either. In that game against Miami before Paul got canned, the Clippers had a lot of trouble grabbing defensive rebounds. On this one, after the Heat take a 3, the ball's batted around and Harden's right there to grab it, but he's too slow to the ball.
I'm telling you, I don't think they're trying to win. I think they're trying to lose.
And then just 2 minutes later, as Fontecchio's taking the 3, Harden's just standing there and Bam snatches the ball over him. That then gets kicked out for another 3, and this was in part of a 30-2 run by the Miami Heat that ended up blowing this game wide open. So, we don't know what Paul may have said behind the scenes that may have triggered his sudden departure, but what we do know is that the Clippers are not engaged throughout the whole game, which is why they're 6-16 to start the year with no light at the end of the tunnel. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Great video. Yeah, I mean, it's if you just look at the expressions on the Clippers outside of Chris Paul, he's the only one who seems alive. Like, he's got some passion. He's actually trying to win. Everybody else looks like completely disengaged to a point where it's hard for me to believe they're actually trying to win. When we've got situations that are so obvious like this going on, none of the coaching staff stepping up, and then you got a player who's actually doing it and stepping up and calling this stuff out, and then what do? You send him home. You say your leadership style is conflicting with ours. Well, what does that mean? Like, if you really peel it back and get rid of the BS, what does that mean? Your leadership style conflicts with ours. You're trying to win. That conflicts with what we're trying to do around here. That's what it's saying to me. And then, I wouldn't believe it wholeheartedly until I heard so many confirmations that Ty Lue was at these rigged poker games, with the Mafia. And at that point, it makes me go, well, if you're in bed with the Mafia, then you're completely compromised. It's over. You're compromised. If they say lose a game, you'll lose the game. You'll find a way to do it as a coach. So, yeah, I just don't even know what to say. I just don't even know what to say about it all. I'm really disappointed. And it's sad to see that Chris Paul's final season, his farewell tour, he ended up in a shithole like this. A crappy situation he probably knew nothing about. And he ended up getting punished for all of it, basically. And now he's gone, and I assume the Clippers are going to go back to just not caring and losing games. And jeez, what a mess. What a mess, everything going out there between, like, the under the table payments from the owner, from Ballmer to Kawhi to this, to the Ty Lue stuff with the Mafia. Like, what a year that these guys are having. It's sad. It's just sad to see. Sorry, Clipper fans, if there's any of you guys out there. I think your franchise is like at an all-time high of corruption. Something really bad, something nasty is going on there, and it stinks. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. I just wanted to show you this because this blew my mind when I watched this the first time. That, yeah, these are the things that are leading to Chris Paul not being compatible with the rest of the team, essentially. His style. Take it as you will. I know there's a lot of Chris Paul haters out there, but it's hard to hate on a guy for what you just watched here. So, guys, I'm out of here. Let me know what your comments are, what your thoughts are down below. This should be an interesting one, and there's probably stuff I'm even missing out on at this point. So let me know. Guys, like the vid if you could, if you want to push it into the algorithm, and hit that hype button if you want to extra push it into the algorithm. I appreciate you all. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this, and most importantly is to be water, my friends.